I can make a crack pipe out of anything. I can make a crack pipe out of anything. I actually grew up in the 90s. Late in the 90s. But I did. I learned how to make a crack pipe out of like a socket wrench, a car antenna. Eventually I got so good at making crack pipes out of anything that I just started making crack pipes out of crack. I just started making crack pipes out of crack because my hands got all like old and shit. And I could just hold it and light myself on fire. I would just hold the crack and light myself on fire. I didn't need a crack pipe anymore. That's what the 90s were like. Also, I did a lot of heroin. I couldn't feel it when I lit myself on fire. That's the thing. Like in the 90s, I actually injected heroin directly through my sweater just to keep from feeling cold. I got so good at it. No, I didn't. I didn't get good at it at all. I didn't even do any heroin. I know what heroin would be like, though. It'd be great for me. That's why I don't do it. Oh. But I look like I should be on heroin. It's the truth. I do. Because people walk up to me and say, hey, you know where I can get some heroin? And I say, hey, do I look like I know where to get heroin? And no. Of course I know where to get heroin. Because that heroin dealer is always like 15 feet away from me, just fucking around on Facebook. And you can tell they're on heroin because they got 3 devices plugged into a coffee shop. Like that guy's on heroin. He's a heroin dealer. Yeah. Oh, wow. No, I had a guy walk at me and do that. And like I said, the heroin dealer, there was like 3 heroin dealers in the coffee shop. And there was one like just listening to us. He was listening to us and we both knew it. So I said, well, why don't you just go talk to Keith? He's sitting right over there. He knows where to score the dope. My friend says, I don't like talking to Keith. I think Keith is an asshole. And so I say, well, where do you expect me to find asshole-free heroin for you? Like, where does asshole-free heroin exist? It doesn't exist without violence or prostitution. That's like what gives it its value. Ugh. And he was all desperate. He was desperate, but he didn't want to go to like the fucking real dealer. Just scratching himself and telling me like I had to get into his Prius and go look for heroin. And can you imagine that? He wanted me to go look for heroin in a Prius. It's like looking for tigers in a styrofoam Jeep. It's just cruise around 5 Points. Visiting ATMs with a gun to our heads. That's what it's like looking for heroin in a Prius. Because people see it. It's like a credit card that it runs on. Just alternate power for this car. It just runs out of juice and you have to get another credit card, It's like going bankrupt every 7 years. But I'm already on drugs. I don't want to have to deal with this shit. That's the way my life is. Whenever I'm in a coffee shop sitting around, I'm already successful because I'm not working. And if I'm not working, I'm on drugs. And I don't want to go do chores for junkies while I'm on drugs. So luckily there was a tweaker just, sitting 5 feet away from us, just teaching some drought resistant plants how to rebuild an engine. Ugh. Yeah, he's one of those tweakers that graduated from meth college. He graduated from meth college. He just built a bicycle out of Gilligan's Island. He built a bicycle out of Gilligan's Island. It was made out of driftwood and coconut shells. And he rode it. It was all tropical looking, But he also used parts of the boat because he was a real tweaker. And you could use parts of the boat if you're making a bicycle out of Gilligan's Island. You got to know what you're doing and just not be aware of it. That's how you graduate from meth college. Anyways, this guy was just sitting there talking to some plants. I just snapped my fingers. And he started turning around, twisting, kicking all the holograms off of his legs. And he turns around to look at me, and I just move out of the way. I just have a great excuse to go into like the coffee shop and use the restroom, because I'm sober enough to do that. And these two just stare at each other like the world's greatest talker and the world's greatest listener. You know, and I go do my business. And then when I get back out of there, you know, like a few minutes, these two are the best of friends. I have a fresh coffee. These two are the best of friends. I felt like the Jane Austen of like 5 Points. And they go jump into the Prius and they go like looking for heroin. You know, but they have to get out of the parking lot. And they have to make like a 12-point turn to get out of the parking lot. Maybe 13 points. I don't know how many points. I lost count. 13 points to get out of the parking lot. I thought, what scourge am I letting loose into this world? Like 2 junkies in a Prius. Like this is like going to be like the land shark for junkies and like blind people. Just cruising around the neighborhood killing people. They won't even notice. Nobody will notice, but I don't care because I'm irresponsible. I'm on a lot of drugs. And I'm a comedian. And none of this is real. All right. Thank you. All right. So that's enough recording for today. I mean, I was going to do like other tracks, but now I'm just caught in the mood of just ad-libbing because I could do that. So I'm just going to do that from now on. I'm just going to tell these jokes all freestyle. Like, fuck it. I don't even have to tell jokes anymore. I can just talk for a half hour and they're all jokes. I guess that's how I'll do a show from now on. Just talk for a half hour. Just have all these jokes and just say them. Like, I don't have to tell jokes like every time. The same jokes every time in the same format every time. I can tell different jokes every time. Like, that's an answer. I guess. Maybe I don't have to be a headliner anymore. Maybe I can just open for like headliners that are really good. Ugh. Like I could just open for headliners now because they all know their jokes and I don't. So I could just like, they could tell me all their jokes and I'll say, well, I won't do those jokes. I'll just do different topics for 8 minutes. Like, I could do that. I can warm up an audience before like anybody goes up that's professional. That's all I would do. Like, that's a moneymaker. People don't even have to know me. I just have to show up in some studio and just talk for like a half hour. And then like the real stars would go on and then these people would give me money. Like the corporation would give me money and then the real stars would come out and make their own money. Because that's how it works. That's how all entertainment works. Ugh. Oh man, I'm exhausted now. Like, this has been a rant. Kind of. Like, it could be one album. Like, the sun's going down. That's how long I've been out here. The sun is going down. So I know I've done it like a half hour. Ugh, God. Alright. Anyways, I gotta go make a sale. And I'll be back like some other day to tell like other jokes that I'm supposed to say. Ugh. Anyways, I've been Mike Coppolino. And I look like I smell, so that's it. That's what I do. I smell funny and I tell jokes. And I have business ideas. And I have a few clubs. But nobody will know that until like after like the scourge is over. Like when the plague is over, we'll get back to doing clubs. And I'll have a few of them. Anyways, thank you. I've been Mike Coppolino. Have a great night. Thank you. Yeah.